Hi, I'm Rick Lambert. Welcome to the Smarketing Show. Now, Cheryl, you and I as leaders, I'm sure we've faced common scenarios where, hey, I don't really feel comfortable going to you about something because I'm supposed to be the leader and you're leading your team, and you may not be an expert in certain areas, so you may feel vulnerable. Have you ever felt that way, Cheryl?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, our guest is going to speak to that today. And I'm going to be completely open and honest with some of the challenges that I've had. I think the biggest one lately for me has been around creating company culture remotely. It's really hard. I haven't met any of my team members. So it's really difficult to actually create that synergy amongst the team. But we'll get our guest to speak to that in a few moments.
Well, and I'm jacked today to have Katie Wright on. Katie, welcome to the Smarketing Show. You know, I've heard so many great things about you and what you've done for individuals one-on-one and also coaching leadership teams within an organization. I know as a leader, I don't do it right every time, but thanks for joining us today. Maybe let us know what you do as a certified professional leadership coach.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for that warm introduction. So yes, I am a certified professional leadership coach. Technically, I'm a certified professional coactive coach. And so what that means, that the coactive piece is helping leaders lead from within, or so what they have within, and lead with that, moving themselves forward. So the co within us is our inner canvas, what's important to us, our values, our purpose, our beliefs, whether they're empowering or limiting, and then actually activating with steps forward. So our doing, what we do. So it's lining up our being, that within, with the doing. So yeah, and I love this work because it's so important for leaders to lead with integrity. So helping leaders get set up to show up strong and to influence from that healthy, inspiring place.
Well, I just think it's great what you're doing, and I know Cheryl and I have the opportunity to work with so many business owners, leaders, and they echo, so many times, am I doing the right thing? I know there's the tough balance in the pandemic with life and work, and so maybe talk, if you can, a little bit about the types of people that you would work with, the persona, let's say, of your audience, and then maybe some of the challenges that they face, so our viewer could say, hey, that's like me, I can relate to that type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So I work one-on-one with individuals. So individuals will hire me privately or personally on their own. And I also work within organizations. So where the sponsor or the leader within the organization is hiring me to come in and coach some of their team members. So typically what it looks like, the individual is perhaps new to a role. So whether they just got a new role or they're starting a new business, they're a small business owner, they're running their own business, or they're within an organization and they're starting something new. So they want help, or they want support in setting themselves up for success. So my job is to help them lean into their vision. What is it they want to accomplish? They've got all this drive and energy that they're starting something new, and to really help them drive it home, and to be that co-pilot sitting next to them. And then so that's for the new leader, or like there's something new going on. Then there's the established leader, so the one who's in the middle of their journey, and they're established, they're doing well, there's some successes, they know what works, they know what doesn't, but there's kind of that stagnancy or that feeling of stuck. And it's like, well, I know that I'm capable of more. I don't know what that looks like. Oh, hiring a coach will help me move forward in a direction that feels good. So helping them overcome what might be in the way and preventing their growth.
Well, yeah.
Katie, you talked about how you come in and you work with individuals one-on-one, probably more so now during the pandemic, given our situation, but then you also go into organizations. And I've worked for large organizations and for so many different types of business leaders. So given the circumstance of where we're at and this remote work situation, how would you describe the persona of a business leader that's doing a really good job right now, that is, doing the right thing and is leading a team, I would say, successfully?
Good question. So I'll start with what I do not think will work. I do not think that top-down leadership works. You shall do this, you must do this. However, direction is important. So the leader who's able to, or is willing, or is leading from the front. So they're pointing at the vision and they're saying, this is where we need to go. This is why it's so important. And they're really engaging the troops behind them, their peers who are supporting them, and they're empowering them to come along with. They would, it's almost like they take a bullet for the vision, the mission, and the team. They're standing in front. So having that leader to actually direct them and take the troops where they need to go. But I also think what's important, especially given the times, is that the leader be adaptable and willing to switch leadership seats. And what I mean by that is, yes, they can lead from the front, but they can also lead from behind. So they can support others from behind and support and enable others to lead. So empowering and encouraging others to move themselves forward, or to move themselves, or to help move forward within the organization, and then leading from the side. So supporting, I've got your back. We can go to greater places together. Collaborating together on something. So it's really that the leader who can wear a variety of hats. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's important to share that leader who can courageously be vulnerable. I don't have all the answers, but I think we can figure it out together. Or they have the courage to address tough situations or tough conversations.
So Cheryl, just on the show here publicly, I don't have it all figured out, and I could use your help anyway. So Katie, look,
awesome. And that's exactly what we need.
Yeah. I pick up quick. Sometimes don't always execute the way I should. Hey, okay, so let's say you've got a new leader. I was 31. I was a decent sales guy, and they said, okay, now you're a leader. Or, you mentioned a tenured leader, another profile. The three of us are parents, and there's no manual all of a sudden to be a parent. And I would say the same thing when you become a leader. Now you've got kids, we'll call it, but they're adult kids, and we're supposed to. So what are some of the things you might do with someone that's watching right now saying, you know what, I'm a new leader, I'm a tenured leader. I realize, I'm capable, my team's capable more. I'm not sure if I'm making the right decisions. Like, what are some of the things that you might do with somebody or suggest they consider?
Talk to a coach.
Well, I might just to validate your point. Okay, a lot of times people will bring Cheryl in and as an outsider because she's not within the swirl. She's not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, and so as much as your comment there may say, "Hey, this is why to engage Katie Wright," I actually agree. I think outsiders, in many cases, don't bring the politics and whatever, and can call the plays objectively. And I think in today's dynamic, I'll call it, that's an untapped opportunity for a lot of organizations because we're stuck in our ways, whether we like it or not. Anyway, sorry to do the little commercial for you there, but I agree. We're third party too. So yeah. In addition to getting a coach, what else might a coach like you do, for example?
Right. So I'll just walk you through the process of what it's like to work with me. So, you determine that you want to work with a coach. So we talk about, what is your vision? What does that look like? And sometimes it's crystal clear, and other times we have to, paint it along the way. So we align and clarify with your vision, or what's important to you. What does success look like to you, feel like to you? And then, like I mentioned at the top of this, I'm a coactive coach. So I help people line up with what's important, that inner canvas, their values, their purpose, and their beliefs. So we lining up with that, the individual feels grounded and steady on their feet, and therefore they can perform strong in their role, or they can perform strong in their performance, what they're going to set out to do. So we talk about all of, we have some foundation exercises that we do, and then we work the objective. What is it that what is it that you're after? And we coach them, or I coach them through it. And one of the important pieces to remember is we all have what's called inner sabotage. So it's that inner I was going to say a swear word. I was going to say the crappy committee, but it doesn't, it rhymes with committee, that inner head trash, it's sabotaging, it's holding us back, it's limiting beliefs. And so my job is to expose that and then fan the flame to the what's true, or the confident piece, the what's important to us, lining the individual up with what feels good, and extinguishing all that inner head trash.
That makes sense. Katie, in your most recent blog that you have on your website, which I love, by the way, you talk about some of the common business challenges that business leaders have. And one of them is being able, I think, to be vulnerable and to kind of check your ego at the door and be okay with the fact that you're not an expert and you don't have all the answers. And that's something I think that I struggle with, especially with our team, because a lot of my team members come in and they're so much better at all of these things than I am. And sometimes that's difficult as a leader. So what do you recommend to leaders that struggle with being vulnerable and being able to say, it's okay that I don't have all the answers? My role is really here to support you in your growth and development.
Yeah, so I'm reminded of I earlier talked about the leadership dimensions: leading from the front, leading from the side, leading from behind. You don't have to have all the answers, and you're not, leading from the front, what the vision is, but you might not know exactly how to get there, and that's okay. And it also speaks to that inner sabotage, that the limiting belief, like, I have to know it all. So as a coach, my job would be to mirror it back. So did you just tell me that you have to know it all? Is that what you just told me? And then they'd be like, oh, right. Yeah, I'm not God. I don't have the Bible. And I get it too. Like, oh, you're the coach, you're supposed to know everything. Oh, no. My tools are, I ask the questions so that you can come up with the solutions on your own, and that it's tailored for you. And yeah, again, to get rid of that limiting belief that you have to have it all together all the time and know all the answers.
Well, I guess a good analogy would be a lot of really great sports coaches don't know how to play the game themselves.
Right.
But they get the strategy of it and they know how to coach from behind and get their team out there playing the way they should. So performing.
And Cheryl, as a figure skater, Katie, I believe you're an athlete as well. We all know the impact of a great coach, even if it's for a short period of time, to just get you on the right path. And I go back to parenting is like leading. There's no playbook to follow every time. And I just think some of us get ground down in our routine, and sometimes a fresh look at what you're doing can be very healthy, especially in today's virtual, leadership role. So, So Katie, if there's one thing that you think a leader should be thinking about right now, is there a best practice in addition to vulnerability side behind, leading from things? Is there something, I know I'm catching a cold on this, but what's like the first thing you think someone should think about doing if they wanted to make a step towards, personal improvement?
Oh, good question. Why not do a scan? So do a scan of the different facets of your life, your career, and what that looks like, whether it's your leadership or, the tasks that you're faced with, your relationships, your health, your money, the facets. How satisfied are you within each of those facets? Sit quietly, do a check-in, and then ask yourself, where's there room for growth? Am I satisfied, and is there room for me to grow or lean into some more potential?
Yeah, growth or change even, because sometimes that's good. Especially when you feel like you've been in the same house, the same four walls for, a year and a half. So
right. And it goes back to that piece too about being stagnant.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Katie, thank you so much for coming on today. It was really great to talk to you. And I think you have so much valuable insight for everybody, no matter where they're at in their career. I know that maybe even people watching have never been a leader yet, but they aspire to that. So it's interesting. And you offer, a free sort of journey discovery conversation as well, which you can find more information about on the website. And the website is katiewrightcoaching.com. So thank you again. And thank you to everybody for tuning in.
And
Thank
that's
you.
this 30-minute free coaching session, which I took advantage of, by the way, with Katie, is awesome. I think she gets you thinking about things that you're not thinking about, and so highly recommended. If you're a leader that's saying, "Hey, maybe I need a little health check on how I'm doing holistically," because she doesn't just focus on business. I think she'll focus on you as a person. So, Katie, congrats on what you're doing. I think you're so well qualified and positioned, and wish you the best of luck with your coaching going forward.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week.